In the heart of Savannah Springs, where the tall grass swayed like dancers in the wind, and the acacia trees stood tall and proud, there lived a young zebra named Zinny. Zinny was known for her dazzling black and white stripes that seemed to shimmer in the sun and her gentle nature. But there was one thing Zinny wasn't known for: speaking up. Zinny loved her school, Savannah Springs Academy, where all the young animals of the savannah learned and played together. There were clever meerkats who could solve any riddle, playful gazelles who raced each other across the open plains, and even bashful elephants who painted beautiful murals with their trunks. But there was one thing that sometimes made Zinny's heart feel heavy: the way some animals treated the smaller, quieter students. One morning, as the sun cast golden rays over the savannah, Zinny trotted into school and heard a commotion near the watering hole playground. Two hyena brothers, Tito and Taz, were snickering as they tugged at the satchel of Benny the meerkat, who was much smaller and less daring than the others. Benny's round eyes were wide with worry as he tried to hold on to his satchel filled with his precious notebooks and tiny acacia twigs he used for drawing. "Give it back, please," Benny squeaked. But his voice was too small, almost lost in the rustling of the grasses. Zinny felt her heart tighten. She wanted to say something, to stand up for Benny, but her legs felt heavy, and her voice caught in her throat like a pebble. "Look at little Benny trying to play hero," Tito sneered, while Taz cackled, their laughter echoing across the playground. Other students watched nervously, not wanting to get involved. Zinny's stripes seemed to shiver as she tried to muster the courage to step forward. Suddenly, she remembered something her grandmother had once told her. "Your voice is your greatest strength, Zinny. Use it to speak for others when they cannot." That night, as the moon climbed high into the velvety sky and the stars twinkled like tiny lanterns, Zinny lay on her favourite patch of grass and sighed. A soft breeze whispered around her, carrying the scent of wildflowers. Then a magical thing happened. The breeze seemed to turn into a gentle voice, one that wrapped around her like a warm hug. "Zinny, your voice can light up the dark," the voice whispered. Startled, Zinny looked around and saw the stars winking down at her, as if they were trying to tell her something important. The next day at school, Zinny felt a strange but wonderful warmth in her chest. It was as if the stars' encouragement from the night before had planted a tiny seed of courage inside her. She watched as Tito and Taz prowled the playground, looking for their next prank. When they spotted Benny, Zinny knew she had to do something. The warmth in her chest grew brighter until it felt like a flame. "Hey, leave him alone," Zinny's voice rang out, stronger than she had ever heard it. The playground fell silent and every eye turned to her. Even Tito and Taz stopped, surprised by the boldness in her voice. Tito's grin faltered. "What did you say, Stripes?" he asked, narrowing his eyes. "I said leave him alone," Zinny repeated, her voice steady. "It's not right to pick on someone just because they're smaller." A rustle of surprise ran through the crowd, and one by one other students stepped closer. Naya the gazelle nodded and added, "Yeah, Benny deserves to play without being scared." And soon the bashful elephants trumpeted softly in agreement, their eyes kind and reassuring. Tito and Taz exchanged uncertain glances. They had never seen the usually quiet students band together before. With a grumble, they dropped Benny's satchel and slunk away, their tails drooping. Benny looked up at Zinny with eyes full of gratitude. "Thank you, Zinny," he whispered, hugging his satchel close. The crowd burst into cheers, and Zinny felt a warm rush of pride and joy wash over her. Later that afternoon, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky in swirls of orange and pink, Zinny sat with Benny under the acacia tree. They talked and laughed, surrounded by the playful sounds of their classmates. Zinny realised that speaking up not only helped Benny, but had brought them all closer as friends. That night, as Zinny looked up at the sky, the stars seemed to wink at her again. This time she whispered back, "Thank you." Standing up for what is right can make a positive difference. When we speak up for others, we find courage within ourselves and inspire those around us to do the same. The end. Please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting magical tales. Drop a message on the comments section we would like to read from you.